Alright everybody, this is Cholera, and we've got ourselves Nimue once again playing, and this time he's playing against Urdung 17. By the way, Nimue is otherwise known as Debonair this game, just because he switched computers. So we're going to see what happens here in this game. This should be pretty exciting. Nimue, of course, managing to win last game pretty easily against Debonair, the real Debonair. Anyway, that is Nimue here in the teal at the upper left, and we've got Debonair at the bottom here, bottom left, in blue. Sorry, we've got Urdung in blue here at the bottom left. Urdung is the guy who, you know, if you've been watching the finals, he did lose against Debonair, but I think mainly that was because he played off race in the second and third games. To be honest, I think his Protoss versus Protoss, it was demonstrated in the semifinals, was way superior to anyone else's Protoss versus Protoss. Nevertheless, we're going to see how Nimue does here. Of course, Nimue was able to beat the real Debonair last game on Andromeda, so he could be, you know, he could be the challenger to beat Urdung, or perhaps vice versa. I don't know who to call better at this point. Both have shown that they're, you know, so far today they're not defeated in Protoss versus Protoss. Anyway, this map is Longinus. Longinus is a very flat map, and no, I'm sorry, not a very flat map, but your main base is on flat ground. So in a Protoss versus Protoss map game, I expect to see a 2-gate from both players, and here we're seeing Nimue going for a 2-gate in the teal, of course, at the upper left. Just because it's very hard to block any kind of choke point or anything like that, and there's no ramp, of course, to help you with your zealots. We were seeing here actually a deviation from Urdung. I think this may put him in a lot of trouble. He's gone 1-gate into gas, so this is going to be a tech build versus a standard rush build on this map, and I really do think that the 2-gate is going to be superior here. Just because, I mean, it's just a more powerful build early on, and it's just so hard to defend your own base on this map. Now, I also think it was not a standard 10-12 gate. It was a 9-10 gate too, so that's a very fast rush, of course, whereas I have to assume that Urdung here went for a 10-gate into a simulator. That is a standard build, of course. So with this kind of build, Urdung's going to have to micro his ass off, basically. Nimue otherwise is just going to win this game pretty much based on build orders. This is like somewhat similar to a 9-pool versus a 12-hatch situation. Of course, not always. This is map dependent. On this map, it's sort of similar to that, though, because it's just very hard for the Protoss who's gone 1-gate into core, as we see there, to be able to handle a 2-gate rush. It's very possible that Nimue, once he discovers this, as he has right now, might decide to go for a 3rd gateway and just pump mass zealots into his opponent's base. Now, Nimue's 2 gateways are a little bit further away from his exit to his base than would be perhaps optimal, in the sense that he has to walk pretty long of a distance to get in, just because of that extra distance. But anyway, it looks like we've got the first zealot going in and a manor pylon. That is a manor pylon from Nimue, and that is Nimue's zealot about to man it up among the probe lines. Already 1 probe down. It looks like Urdung's going to bring back 2 zealots though, and do some damage to that 1 zealot. More zealots should be incoming though from Nimue, and that's going to be very hard to hold off. Even though Urdung has 2 zealots right now, the 2nd zealot and a 3rd zealot actually, both are inside of his base. So now 3 zealots inside of Urdung's base. Urdung's forced to use his probes to help defend, and I mean, he's going to look at this. He has to drill all of his probes, which means that his mining is suffering greatly. 2 probes down now, 3rd probe down now, and 1 zealot versus 2 here. Actually, no, 2 zealots versus 2, but more coming in from Nimue. I mean, this is the kind of disaster that I was talking about. And it looks like Urdung's doing a decent job, and he's trying his best using 2 probes to help his small zealot forces, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, especially because he's losing on probes right now. Another probe's going to go down. Yep, there's the 4th probe. I mean, that is already putting Nimue way in the lead, but he's not even stopping here, of course. I don't see any Dragoons coming out either, because, this is just so hard for him to deal with 5 probes down, and now core and a pylon. So actually, we didn't see a 3-gate, but we are going to see some Dragoons coming out soon for Nimue. Nimue's killed probably another probe or 2, so that's going to bring us up to maybe 6 or 7. And there is 1 Dragoon from Urdung. I guess he did make a Dragoon, but it was running outside trying to chase these incoming zealots. This is going to be so hard to hold off. Still more zealots in the mineral lines, and looks like they're gonna get taken out, but not before they take out yet another couple of probes, at least one more probe. And also, let's not forget that Manor Pylon's been up there forever, blocking. Looks like it blocked one probe from mining, and it blocked a couple of patches too. So this is just disastrous. I don't see a way that Urdung could come back unless he pulls a miracle, or unless Nimue makes a lot of mistakes. He's putting up a third gateway. This is exactly, I think, what he needs to do to close off this game. Even though he's given kind of a brief respite to his opponent. Urdung's probably not going to be able to do too much with that. His economy has just suffered way too much harassment here, and he's going to actually push up here, try to do whatever he can to do some damage to his opponent. But look at this. His opponent's got 3 gateways and the Dragoon upgrade going, whereas we've got no upgrade and only 2 gateways from Urdung. Plus, you can tell his mineral line is much thinner, so his mineral probes are much fewer. So that means he's just not going to be able to produce enough. Nimue has shown good micro so far. You might be thinking about putting up an expansion, actually. We're going to see. A robotics facility going up for Urdung. I mean, I guess he has to hope that Nimue goes for some kind of weird build, like a DT build, and if he can counter that, then he has a chance. But I think Nimue's build is perfect here. Just going 3 gate with range. He's going to be able to get range way before Urdung does, and he's going to have, of course, more Dragoons. So that is going to be just nearly impossible for Urdung to fight against, I think. Just because too much damage was done too early before he even had any tech up. He's not going to be able to really benefit from this robotics facility, I think. It's going to be, the attack's probably going to come before we see any Reavers coming out, although it looks like we might be seeing an expansion here from Nimue, so perhaps he is going to slow down. That might give a window of chance here for Urdung, but it doesn't look like he actually is going to slow down. That is the attack coming in, and as you can tell, there's a much smaller force here, especially considering the reinforcements are going to coming out very soon. So I don't know. Urdung's going to have to fight really hard to be able to defend against this. He spotted the attack coming, which means that he's going to try to get himself in a defensive position. There's 5 Zealots versus 2. I think there's 4 Dragoons in the first group, plus 2 more or 3 more following up. So already a superior force in the base coming up, and there we are with 6 Dragoons. Of course, Nimue is going to have a much longer reinforcement line, and perhaps we could see some kind of formation advantage if Urdung plays this correctly, but I still don't see that numerical disadvantage being mitigated. And yeah, as you can see, the Zealots are way too many in number. They're going to be able to take out the blocking Zealots quickly, and here the Zealots are closing in along with the Dragoons, providing that long-range fire, and that means pretty much Nimue is going to win this game. He's looks like focusing on a pylon there. I mean, those Zealots are just waiting to get close up into those Dragoons. I mean, those Dragoons right now have no choice. They have to defend the base, so they can't keep retreating, and as you see, they're getting stuck behind the mineral lines. They've already lost 2 of their number. I think no Dragoons have gone down yet from the Professor of StarCraft. The Professor is going to probably win this game and beat the great Urdung, who I thought was the favorite going into the finals. I still think he's the best overall player at UChicago today, although Debonair certainly has shown himself to be quite a fighter. Urdung, GG's, and it looks like we're going to pick up a early win here from Nimue. Now, Nimue is going to play one more game coming up next, so we're going to see Nimue fight off against Urdung again. Stay tuned, guys.